Hey guys, welcome back to another unboxing and kind of walker through sort of usage review. I've had a few of these Alsta Nautoscaph 4s in. We actually send them out to members in our Keeper Box Club under the Lux plan, which is $99 a month. Members get to wear, enjoy, and then decide if they want to buy them. But this particular one, the Nautoscaph 4, is one that I've been really taken with personally. I think the design is fantastic. It's got a real vintage vibe to it. If you're not aware of Alsta, they were a historic brand. They were, I think, founded in the 1950s, kind of died out in the 70s, and have been kind of resurrected by a Scotsman, a guy called Angus, who I've had a number of different chats with. Really nice guy, very passionate about watches and quality, which really gives me all the confidence I need to be able to, get these in and give them to members. I think it's a wonderful watch. I love this particular model. Comes in black, a blue, and what they call the Great White variants. Kind of a silver dial on that particular one. I'd probably go for the blue overall. I'm just a blue watch guy. But in kind of looking at this watch, you'll notice it is a very vintage inspired piece. The main thing that makes it so is that beautiful dial and the crystal, which is kind of boxed but domed as well. So it creates this kind of distorted effect around the edge of the dial as you look at it in different angles. Very similar. That I love that kind of vintage look. Divers 65 by Oris is one of my favorites, with that kind of look with the distorted dial and everything. Very nice dial design, nice and busy, which I really like. You also have the outer busyness of the dive bezel, every minute marker notched. A couple of things I'll talk about later, things I like, dislike about the watch. I've got a couple of minor gripes, but overall it's a fantastic watch. Really happy to have these in, and they're just really nice. First things first, dimensions. You're talking a 40mm case here. You do, however, have much longer lugs than you may expect for a 40mm case, so it wears quite a bit bigger, maybe 1 to 2mm bigger than you would expect of a 40mm case. You've got a beads of rice bracelet on this, which is actually a very nice quality. Polished center links, brushed outer links. You've got this fairly basic clasp, but nice all the same. It's got the milled shark put into it. Opens nicely, quite a vintage style clasp there as well. Looking at the dial, as I said, you've got a really nice busy dial, but very vintage style. The outer bezel then is, I believe it's steel, but it's in the black finish. Feels very nice and precise as well. You notice it perfectly lines up there. One thing to note on the dial and the bezel insert, or the bezel, sorry, it's a solid bezel, is I wish they'd loomed more of it. I wish they'd loomed the inner markers around the dial. I wish they'd loomed I don't think they have the 12, 6 and 9 loomed, and I wish they'd loomed this outer bezel, because it would have created a beautiful impact. For now, I'll show you the loom. You see it's got the main dial markers and the hand kit and the loom pip, which is beautiful, absolutely great. Love that kind of angular, curved, almost like shark tooth shape of the main dial markers. And again, what does it for me is the distortion around the edge of the dial. I just think with the detail in the dial, that domed crystal really plays well with the dial. So you get those lovely kind of curvatures and warping of the markers themselves. Inside then, it's a NH35 movement, NH35A. Up top we have, and this is kind of surprising to me a little bit, is a hardened mineral crystal, so not sapphire. They do say in the website description they chose mineral crystal because it's less prone to shattering and that kind of thing. I get that, this is, I suppose, a watch that is designed to be used, and as such that probably is a good move. However, at the price point, $795 retail, I believe, I would like to see a sapphire crystal on it because most people don't actually go diving. However, there's an undercoating of AR material there, so it's a nice little adjustment on the underside. NH35 again at $795. I'm not sure, outside of maybe doing a Miyota 9015, I'm not sure they could have done better than that for the price point. You know, if you maybe throw a Solita in it or an ETA, then you're up, you know, price point is probably going to be 1,000 or more, which, you know, I'm sure they do on their upper line of watches. But this is really kind of their entry point, the Nautoscaph 4 795, like I say. Materials and the build quality are excellent across the board, with those couple of little caveats from my perspective. I would like the sapphire crystal. I would like a higher beat movement, even if it is a Miyota, which is perfectly serviceable, nice and precise right out of the factory. But the overall build quality, you see there the horizontal brushing on the case side, very, very nice. And I like the black bezel as well. Again, reminds me a little bit of a Diver 65 by Oris, just that kind of contrast, and I think it fits perfectly with the style. Let me just see, I think it's a screw down, yeah, screw down crown being the NH35, the date wheel, I think you normally go down for those, like so. Ooh, whoops. Hacking seconds, set the time, in, good to go. So yeah, it doesn't have that kind of luxury kind of high beat movement or the sapphire crystal, but the design is excellent, the build quality is excellent, and I know from speaking with Angus, that was actually one of his concerns in terms of, you know, recent supply chain issues with basically watches worldwide. But he was explaining to me, which was really interesting to hear, that they normally have these assembled in Switzerland, they're Swiss. However, recently, because of the supply chain issues, they have started to assemble the pieces in Britain, in the UK, and what he has found is actually that they're doing a better job in terms of quality control, in terms of build quality across the board, than the Swiss company that they were working with was doing. So again, he's definitely got a very detail-oriented slant on where the company's going. I love what they're doing. I love the new models. I love the different variants that they have going, and their kind of concepts for new watches coming out. They do a lot of really nice vintage style pieces, and this is particularly my favorite one, not least just that style of the dial as well. In terms of the bezel action, it's pretty precise. It's quite tough to move. Sonically sort of feels like quite a high pitch click to it. And quite a bit of back play there. I've gone too far, but it does match up. But yeah, so that's the Nautoscaph 4. Great watch. I haven't looked at the case back yet. It's pretty simple. It's got the shark etched in there as well. Some of the details around the outside anti-magnetic, so that's a cool feature. 24 jewels with the NH35. Stainless steel. Water resistant, I think it's 300 meters as per the dial at the bottom there. And yeah, so it's a beautiful vintage piece. I think it's really well put together. I think even outside of the beads of rice, this would work on a lot of different straps. It would be a bit of a strap monster. Lug design is nice, brushing of the case is great. And without those, you know, couple of caveats where I would like a sapphire crystal or a higher beat movement, I just think it's a beautiful watch that really sits well on the wrist. We'll do a quick wrist check to finish off. It's all black watches, and nice busy dials is the theme today. We've got the Junot silent service, which hasn't really left my wrist over the last couple of weeks since I've had it. Okay, so here's the Alsta Nautoscaph 4. You see the way that works on it. I've got quite a small wrist, 7.25 inches. You see how that works just with the, yes, smaller kind of case and bezel size, 40. Maybe the bezel seems to pretty much match up. It might be 40 and a bit on the bezel diameter, but the lug design just works really well. Wraps around the wrist nicely, really nice wrist presence. Nice thickness, not too thin, not too thick. Domed crystal is just beautiful, creates that lovely effect like I said at the start. And yeah, that's the Alsta Nautoscaph 4. Really beautiful watch. Very pleasantly surprised. Very well put together, nice build quality. Nice little pouch you get with it for the kit that you saw at the start. So that is the Alsta Nautoscaph 4 Let us know if you have any questions, guys. Hopefully that was of help. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.